The Whiskey Brothers podcast is intended for an adult listening audience. If you find yourself easily offended, I guarantee this will do it.
They don't want no problems. Nah.
From Houston, Texas, the Whiskey Brothers podcast starts now.
Welcome to the Whiskey Brothers podcast. An abrupt start. It's like nothing even, bro. Yeah, just what you're gonna hold on me? You're gonna?
No, I thought you grabbed your hat like as a startup, like you primed it. Welcome.
Yes, Captain.
It's like a lawnmower start.
Welcome.
Shh, Captain's trying to teach stuff.
Jerry Way Longmire, Trey Tutson. I am Slade Ham. Abby Volman to my right. Frequent recurrent guest on the podcast. Okay. No, he's got a can of something.
I know.
What are you gonna?
I just want to. I'm polite.
You're so friendly. Goodwill Loden is in the back of the house. He's running things for us. In absentia is Adam Taylor. Do you not like it when I call him Goodwill Loden? Is it because
that makes
he's not good?
I'm laughing at how predatorial he sounded with, you want a drink?
Well, I already got your shirt off. You're basically drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade. This is a Dateline episode.
He started on third base behind a Mexican restaurant. You guys are...
Slade's like, what are you doing with this 13-year-old in your lap?
It's amazing. What are you listening to? Take on Me? What's happening right now?
Oh, fuck.
So that was designed to hit him and him alone. That was a surgical strike.
Yeah.
I know the era. Yeah.
Okay,
I know the era.
That's yours.
So, is this going to get uncomfortabler later?
How much more uncomfortable do you want it?
Wait, do I get an actual vote? Because none. Right here, I want to stop. Right? Can we rewind it about an episode?
Sure.
I was going to say, rewind it about a shirt's worth.
Here's what I want to talk about. Abby, you're here. Jerry, you got...
Wait, are you uncomfortable? I don't need no hashtags and no shit. I put my shirt on if you say some bullshit. Because like I was uncomfortable in the room with him shirtless, but I didn't even try nothing.
It's not hashtag me too. It's hashtag me Trey.
Yeah. I got Trey, by the way.
Anybody who watches this episode believes you're gay.
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way. I get booked enough too, so we're good.
Okay. Up top, baby. That's so funny.
Abby.
That's the
and you don't run a room.
That's the most gangster way of saying you can't do shit for me I've ever seen in my life.
Man, I get booked. Don't worry about
Hilarious.
Wow, that's strong. Abby is. This is
funny, homie. Funny.
Welcome to the show. You did well
Appreciate
Tuesday
it.
on Is This Thing On? For those of you who are listening to this when it actually comes out.
I was on a show with her Saturday night.
Was
She
that Saturday night?
destroyed it.
I have on my shirt. I like Jamar Gabers up here. This is fucking sad.
No, see.
I had to say it for somebody else did.
So hey, so this is Jerry. We're celebrating somewhat your week. That's why he took his shirt off. It's like strip poker. We had a private bet.
Strip podcasting?
Strip podcasting. At the beginning of the week, we had a private bet that your TikTok was going to crash and burn. That it was a fluke. That you weren't really gonna. That this was only going to go so far. That you had a week or two of good shit because you had that truck thing or the thing about your boss or the whatever. And we both laughed about it. I said, Trey, I believe in Jerry more than you. I said
I would have taken Trey's bet.
I understand, but I see things differently. I said, Trey, you're wrong. These horrible, terrible things you're saying about Jerry. I go, so I'm willing to put some stuff on the line. I go, if these horrible, terrible, awful things you're saying about Jerry come to fruition, God, they were so bad. I don't even want to put why quote, right?
We're
trying to.
Don't touch my leg again.
It's bro. Listen to me. Your leg.
Hashtag me Trey.
Your leg. Woo! If you knew. So. The point is, I stomached all of that, and I said, Trey, I'm gonna make a bet. I go, if in the next couple of days he goes viral, say twice. I'm not even gonna say once. That's how confident I am. Twice. I go, then you have to do the podcast sans clothing. And Trey goes, easy. And in the same bet was he threw it my way. He said if he crashes and burns, you got to take. And I was confident. I've got.
Well, get them britches off, son.
So So what happened? You're just you walk in today. Last little thing fucking viral, and now we're just plebes. We're just other dudes on a podcast with Jerry, the TikTok king.
I'm having a lot of success on that platform. I had the first one go viral, but it took about a week or whatever. But the one I did Friday night, I drove home from Dallas 4 hours, whatever, and all I did was listen to podcasts by content creators about how to best apply your content, when to post, that kind of stuff. Saturday, I got up inspired, started making some content, posted it, and went viral in a 24-hour cycle. And it's just destroyed. I picked up 25,000 followers in 24 hours.
No, it took you 4 hours to drive back from Dallas?
3.5.
Okay,
I was pretty stoned.
Oh, okay, that's...
There may have been a stop at, there's 2 Buc-ee's. You know what I mean? Now, that's at least a barbecue sandwich apiece.
That's how it counts as stops. That's funny.
Bro, and that's Kalachi City, too. That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get stuck in Buc-ee's, when you're stoned.
Dude.
That's just me.
Can we
Well,
sidebar
right when I pulled out of Dallas, that first one, that's like 17
So
miles.
wait, the Madisonville Buc-ee's. So for those of you so some of you are listening to this, you're like, what the hell is a Buc-ee's? Let's backtrack. So Buc-ee's is a previously it's kind of the Whataburger of gas stations, is how I would explain it. It was a Texas only phenomenon that has now spread. You can get as far, I think, east as Florida. Basically the I-10 corridor, they're kind of scattered around. You can go up north, now they're Oklahoma in it or some shit. No, those aren't real, but the central located Buc-ee's are like Walmarts, like supersized Walmart sized.
There's like 60 gas pumps and 30 bathrooms, and they got famous for having clean bathrooms.
Okay,
That was their initial thing.
By putting billboards up, going hold it until
We have the cleanest bathrooms in Texas, and if you've traveled on the road,
You know.
Very, very
They very
problem.
much do.
clean. Yeah.
They're very clean.
Yeah, you can shit in the urinal.
probably the least rapiest of all truck stop bathrooms.
Okay, what the
Really.
goddamn.
that's not
Jerry it there?
Very well lit.
But he does
monitored.
have. But he does have the.
You're so right. You're very well lit. I've had Cowboys buy my Red Bull before in Buc-ee's.
Wow.
I'm dead serious.
I don't want to revisit whatever BuzzFeed top 10 article you wrote in 1996. But listen,
Let's break
Top 10 least rapiest truck stop.
there's a Stuckey's on 35.
You don't see a Cosby. You don't see a Weinstein. You don't see
Avoid the on I-35.
I'm just saying.
No reason to tread in these
what
waters.
the fuck was you had going on in your life? Well, that was a fear.
Keep your pants up at Pilot. That's all I'm saying.
And why? Also,
And love.
why are you pissing with your pants at your ankles?
I don't like stuff touching my butt when I'm peeing.
Pull your shit up. That's why the zipper's there.
You're literally.
That's the one place where Jesus is your co-pilot.
Go ahead. What
Nothing. You're just, shirtless and telling him how to wear his clothes. But
I'm just saying, ain't nobody touch me. Okay, and then aside from
touching
how
everybody.
he is fucking Buc-ee's and shit.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. If you came running into a Buc-ee's bathroom dressed like that,
Clear the way. Oh, this motherfucker's on everything. How many drugs is he on?
it would just be 7 wallets laying in the middle of the floor.
Watch out! Go, just get it. Take it.
Side note, one of my favorite
taking shit off.
side note, one of my favorite activities
This is
at Buc-ee's
Magnolia. We're insecure.
is watching old men do that quick walk thing to get to the fucking pisser, and they got to get in the line, because everybody's getting it.
Y'all see all that shit jiggling?
No, old men waddle.
It's bad as shit.
I don't believe I've ever witnessed this species this closely before. This is what have you witnessed? The old waddle?
Yeah. No, you see them. They start out by the gas pump.
You sit out there in a duck blind, like you put one of those fucking windshield things up, and you
got a square cut in it.
you're taking notes like Jane Goodall. What are you?
It's the funniest shit in the world to me, man.
This is content ideas for your TikTok. This is
Well,
perfect.
of course, that's how he becomes famous. We'll say it on here, and then
Y'all
he's gonna
see
get
Jerry-
6 billion views off of this.
I'm a big guy. I take up a lot of room, so when I see them coming up behind me in the line, I just sort of widen up.
Wait,
You widen up.
You know,
Wait,
just-
do the jiggle again.
No, I'm not
Do
doing
it, because you look like bleached cranberry sauce. Just do it one more time.
Bleach.
Bleached Cranberries song.
I didn't know what that.
You know when the can first glops out and lands.
Okay,
Now he don't know food. Go ahead.
I know.
Yo, boy, you let the fame go to your head. You don't know the thing that made you pop.
No, every day is Thanksgiving. Every day is Thanksgiving.
You don't know canned cranberries.
This motherfucker don't know food.
I didn't know what bleached cranberries was.
You.
So.
Y'all would not make it past my keywords.
Hey, I bet that onomatopoeia ain't blocked. That's block woo. I wish you would. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You.
Yeah, but you did the end run around jiggle and wiggle.
Yeah. Wind. Go ahead. You had some shit you
And
can say.
canned peas and frozen peas long before you got the onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
I'm just anyway.
Go ahead, buddy.
I'm lost. What? Fuck. Where did we go with that?
What did he say? What was he talking about?
No, you leaving this on me. I'm
You
just trying to
talking
pour
about-
another
Talking about
shot
the
for
old
4
man
minutes.
waddling to the bathroom and how funny it was.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just showing us your new TikTok dance.
I don't do the dance.
All right. So you're in the deer blind in the parking lot. You're watching the old man waddle to go pee.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Wait, no. We
That
talking
was
about
it.
his shit blowing up.
Yeah.
That's how we sidetracked all of this.
well,
so
that's-
So his shit he didn't blew up on TikTok
You're famous.
with no,
Whatever
he's
it
popular.
I'm TikToking. That's what I'm doing.
it. He's TikToking. Yeah. Okay.
It's so you're now doing this. You, Abby, have grown up in a world where only social media comedy existed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like,
Yeah.
am I incorrect that you?
I mean, so only social media comedy.
Well, no. Stand-up comedy exists, but like there has always been
there's
social
always
media
been-
comedy in conjunction with
Since you've been on the internet.
since you started doing comedy.
Well, definitely since I started doing comedy, but
That's-
because we
Not
had.
as a person. I know
No,
you're
no.
fucking not 6.
Yeah.
Duh.
I'm actually 6. I was born in a leap year. No. But like.
Okay. Some of these showrunners got some explaining to do.
I look just fine, Trey. Thank you. Jesus. I don't even like most of them. It's fine. No, I'm just
Lots
kidding.
of Catholic shows.
They're all Catholic shows. What
Right.
are we-
What are we talking about?
what
Right.
are we kidding?
Go ahead, buddy.
But
No.
it's a weird thing to figure out,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is.
It's
It's
a
the-
weird thing to figure out what makes people tick.
Totally, because I feel like the internet started as like a joke. You know, like all of my like earliest internet memories are just like the most random shit, like just like random viral videos, like the I Like Turtles kid. That
Yes.
was like the
Chocolate Rain.
Yes,
Remember Chocolate
and like
Rain
Charlie
kid?
Bit My Finger, Chocolate Rain, like all those videos are like some of the first viral videos that I remember. And then people realized it was like a tool, and then social media became really, really serious. And then like now, almost with TikTok, we're seeing like this very weird thing where like it's becoming more serious and like more silly than it ever has, I think. Like
Yeah.
But
True.
very competitive.
Okay,
Very
insanely.
competitive.
It's because I'm so fascinated by this as a spectator / participator. I don't know what the fuck.
Spectator.
Old
What
man.
you are.
Nah, sure.
Slay got one video that did good numbers. No, you got one video, but you're not really.
You know, here's the
Hey,
thing.
hang on. She gonna chime in over. We talked over it. She went old man, and I went hold the.
I was like, oh, I'm off the hook.
no, you're not off the hook. My right ear works. Listen.
Well, I didn't think it did.
You can't call.
Oldest at the table.
I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying shit.
Oh no. So
Yo, cut a man at his age, nigga. I fuck with you about everything else. I leave that great shit alone. I don't even be talking about that.
see, that's the black culture in him. That's the.
Oh yeah, you get your ass whipped by talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just wise for my age.
You ain't gonna make no reputation off me, motherfucker.
I got
That's because
experience.
most of you die before 60.
Oh, yeah.
That's the more.
I'm old. I'm ancient.
I don't give a fuck about the age card. Anyway,
That sounds hard.
but we
Sounds
keep
really hard.
sidetracking me from whatever my fucking.
You're
point
famous.
was. You're famous.
Nah.
He put it down. Yeah, I mean, not of you guys.
No, because
The longer we make fun of him, the more his videos are blowing up, the more
course
money
they
he's
are.
making.
Yeah,
So
it's all day long. This is what. So there's different schools of thought. Like from where I started to where we are now, there have been like 1,000 different, and even before that, right? It was like you had the Catskills comics, and then you had to go on the Tonight Show, and then you had all these dumb rules. Comedy has always had
some sort of
like kind of like stepping stones.
When you and me were coming up, it was you wanted a TV credit, and you got up on Monday morning, you made a bunch of phone calls to people trying to get gigs.
And you mailed all that shit because we were after it was Tim Allen and Ray Romano and all the. You moved to L.A. Your story had a point of view. They went, we like your point of view. Let's build a sitcom around that. And that's what a lot of people were chasing. And when you went out there, it wasn't to star in it. It was to be in a pilot, to be the supporting character in whatever role on a show that did 7 or 10 years. And then if that 10 years, but what, 5 or a few years. And then if that worked, you were well known enough to be able to tour on those credits, right? And then all of that crumbled. There was a writer's strike and a bunch of other shit in 08, and then the whole, everything keeps changing. So for me, having participated in all of it, it's interesting to watch that now we're into this bite-sized sort of. And I've had to navigate all of them. All right, what am I making for fucking MySpace? You got to add glitter and music or whatever and make this stick. And then Facebook came along, and then YouTube and TikTok and all of, we talk about this all the time, Vine for a while.
Snapchat.
Vine, I think, was like really influential. Vine, I think, is probably one of the biggest catalysts in like not only like bite-sized comedy, because like Vine too, like, you know, even if you didn't like think what people were doing was funny, I feel like Vine was a huge push for physical comedy.
Yes.
And then like clever, it was like one-liners and physical comedy.
Yes.
Like how much can you convey with the fewest amount of words and like the most actions you can do, and I mean.
But is this a reflection on human attention span? Because to me, like, it's not even about talent, right? It's, and I don't say this, I'm not trying to be dismissive towards TikTok or YouTube, any of these people who are they're creating cool shit. Truth is, I surf that for entertainment value all the time. It's really funny to me, but it's the conversion of that to this real world sort of thing where I go, well, we're fucking up. This is, you can't. I open for a guy who dressed like a pine cone. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, that's what got me was I looked out, and if you look at every comedy club's website, they got some of these TikTokers booked taking our spots.
But so is the trick though, and this is where I want to put the metaphorical gun to the temple. Is how many times do you chase that? You're kicking ass. You've decided that, hey, I'm gonna make things for this thing, right? And my brain doesn't work. We've talked about this a million times off stage. So same here. My brain doesn't think. I'm like, I tell stories in hours and books, and I'm long, and you want me to chop this down to this, and I don't know how to do that. You've chosen to do that. Like, what's the? Go ahead. What are you about to? You're about to say?
I'm just saying, like, I say that's the reason that there's so many platforms. You could just find one to dominate in. If you, I always say, like, if you're a long form person, just try to be on Reddit a bunch. Right. I didn't realize
or Netflix. That's a good place to be.
My long form jokes work really well on Reddit. I can post a 10, 15-minute story on Reddit.
It just takes longer to curate. And then people like from that, they go follow you on other shit.
Right. If people are invested enough, they will click on other links if you make it accessible to them. And there's also, there are also a lot of stand-up comedians now that have like these huge followings, like Jerry and like Trevor Wallace is a good example.
Patel
people who are comedians through and through, who started making like dumb shit because it's fun. But then you're also there is a group of people where you are getting people who respect comedy and are actually good stand-ups.
What if the dumb shit's not fun though?
Then that's
like,
what
what
a whole
if you don't
discussion about
enjoy
like
it?
greed. Well, that's what I mean.
Well, I found a way to make short stuff that I enjoy and that I think is fun.
I think that's a good rule of thumb. You should always make shit that makes you
cowboy
laugh.
boots, and it's a blast.
It's hilarious.
I am making fun of people for the boots they wear, and it's the
you
funniest.
look like
and the way you look and the way you sound, it makes you the most
real.
qualified to do that. Like, that is enjoyable for like your
you gotta stay in your lane.
Your Siri video. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the Siri video is one of my like favorite of your TikToks. It just fucking cracks me up.
And you do takedowns of what is
Yeah, and I just like I roast like men in their 20s all the time, and that's
It's hilarious.
I'm
The diaper rash
not
videos
funny
are so
on there.
funny.
This is most people's feelings when they watch my shit. Nah, nigga. It's most people's feelings.
Yeah.
When they that's on the internet.
That's my feeling before I put something up.
But you kill it on Instagram
And I go,
Reels.
nah.
right.
Yeah,
Instagram Reels, you have whatever it is that people want to see. Whatever that demographic
Yeah.
is watching what you do, and they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angry
Yeah.
white people.
They're
Yeah,
fun to
they
make
do
fun
show
of,
up to
like-
argue with you.
Yeah.
Black people do not.
Well, that's the
fuck-
other
I-
thing too. Like in the comments on my videos, like I get a bunch of obviously I get a bunch of like women agreeing with me, and like whatever I'm saying, I also get a lot of like dudes who are like, "This is really toxic of you to be saying this," and then like there are always dudes who end up like white knighting in my comments who are like, "I agree with her. I would never treat a woman
I
like
would
this."
never do that.
You know what I mean?
Because
So-
I'm desperate for pussy.
Exactly.
And I
So-
don't want to fuck a goat. Go ahead.
Well, yes, precisely. That's what we're trying to
Do
avoid.
not see last episode.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wait.
Somebody in the comments said, I would hate for episode 1001 to be somebody's first episode.
That'd be great. That'd be fucking great.
Like, what is that? What is
We
that?
educating folks on how to parent.
They
Might
did,
as
a,
well
they,
reel
did
them
a,
in.
they did 1,000 episodes on this?
Oh, that would be wild. You want to start a bestiality podcast? I'd do that.
Oh no.
Today's
do that on
subject,
TikTok.
kangaroos.
I'm going to say something weird and say,
Did Joe
I'll
Rogan
step
not
out.
do that already?
Kangaroo fucking?
Yeah.
Probably. He's got 7,000 now. And for some reason, they were called it with a hard R.
He does it.
Kangaroo.
Joe does it, but they got to beat up the kangaroo.
Yeah, you gotta box it first.
Kanger.
God damn kangers.
You fight some, they take some shrooms.
Oh, shit. Kanger sound way goddamn worse. Woo, shit. Boy, you call somebody a kanger?
I'm sure kangaroos are racist. They're from Australia.
That's what I'm saying.
Look at this
Literally.
kanga ass nigga. They're like, damn, why you gotta call him all that? Boy, you said a mouthful of racism right there.
It took you 2 seconds to change it to kanga. Do you say vinegar?
Yeah, do the subtitles on
Oh,
this,
I love that.
motherfucker.
Right? Exactly. I know. This ain't, you can't do it. Can't.
Fucking quit.
So like this is an example of like something that probably would get flagged on TikTok.
Bruh.
Creating
That's the
slurs.
thing I cannot. That's what I don't like. It's like.
I'm still not over you calling me old. Anyway,
He ain't gonna let it go at all.
I can't
I
laugh
feel
at
like I do
anything
that
else.
every time I come over here.
You gonna be on it on he
This
bringing
one.
this shit up.
Well, that's tomorrow, so
Baby face ass Abby, you are next. I'm sorry.
this
buddy.
next bitch is like 6 years old.
Stop giving her coke and fucking her for spots.
Nobody does.
well, stop giving her coke and fucking her for nothing.
I do it for leisure.
Charity work. Thank you.
Damn.
The difference is she can say yes, the horse can't.
Thank you.
You can only say nay. You don't know what it means. You don't know. All right.
Okay, so
Nay doesn't always mean nay.
Nay means try harder.
Nay means sometimes. All right, stop.
okay, wait. Sorry. While we're on the topic of like young people, I have a question for like y'all as like comedians.
Is that what it is? Is like comedians?
Yes.
And not old?
No. Yeah. I'll use comedians.
Motherfucker, we had the same babysitter. I just want you to know.
For the royal, y'all.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go ahead. What you say? You said you had a question. What you doing?
No. So I'm serious. So I'm about to be 22.
Ooh.
Right? So what I'm saying is I actually can't tell if audiences are like losing attention spans because I don't think that we've technically done stand up for Gen Z. Does that make sense?
Well,
So this is something I've thought about a lot. Like, how is comedy going to change in like the next 7 to 10 years when kids like are like, you know, like I was allowed into a bar like yesterday. So, and because like I grew up around comedy, and then like I do comedy with everybody older than me, and I constantly perform for people older than me all the time. Like I've never really done shows for anybody my own age. Like even in college shows, like people are 22, 23, and you know, that's still older than me. So like I'm kind of curious about how you guys feel doing comedy for longer than I've been doing it, because I always feel like I'm performing to people older than me, so sometimes I might write something a certain way to.
So
except when we started, we were mostly performing for boomers and Gen X, and we've had to
Right.
evolve for millennials.
that's what I was about to say.
It's a constant evolution.
Right.
You always start off in front of people that are older than you.
Right.
That's the whole generational move. Like, so when I went,
We were the young guys once.
I literally started at your age. So
Yeah.
there was this entire first stretch where I'm playing for people who they've got more experience than I do.
Yeah.
The thing about stand up is it is about what you can talk about, and you can talk about what you've experienced.
Exactly.
And the more you've experienced, the more you have to talk about, and the more you can relate to a crowd. And when I look back at like specifically like my worldview in my life and where I was at that particular point, I'm like, why would anybody have even sat in the room like that? Y'all should have all peed for however long I was on stage the whole time, and then come back in and watch whoever else was next. And so I went through that phase, realizing I had nothing to, but you fake it, and you do, and you find the commonality. Well, and that's why most young comics start with sex and drugs and all the stuff, all that shit that's common, because that's all you know.
Right.
And then you learn more. And then there's a point where you go, oh, well, shit, most of these people are now younger than me, and you're trying to find this. You can't use the same inroad because it's not the same inroad. You don't have the same thing in common. You did for a minute, and then those things do this, and they verge off again.
Right.
So it's like this constant reinvention of
yourself
and how you relate to what ends up being a cross section of people, right? Like I know if I play the improv in whatever scenario, I know what the demographic's going to be.
Right.
X amount of people and X amount of age range and X amount of race. And that changes for every show.
Right.
And my show doesn't, but kind of code switching. You talk differently to these people, even though you're saying the same thing.
Totally.
And that's like you make that decision on stage. I think.
Well, like Jerry saw it, like on Saturday, you know, as we were performing in Katy, so it's like, you know, everybody's like well into their
This is middle age.
like, you know, the middle-aged people, and I started doing a dating bit, and they're kind of laughing during the setups, because the whole idea of dating to them is funny, because they were all like married.
But
and
they were also enjoying your awkwardness and you going through it, because they remember that.
Right. And so and also too, like I have enough sense to like call attention to it, like as it's happening, you know. But it is very interesting, because I'm also like nervous to see how like the social, because I don't know if we've like
well,
seen
most of us evolve. You evolve as your crowd evolves. I mean, there's Nick Swartzen, but then everything else.
You're on
there's
TikTok,
evolution.
Jerry. You're on TikTok.
Yeah,
you
I'm basically a boomer.
But also the element of the live experience doesn't go away. All these motherfuckers that just strictly been on social media, they all had to figure out a way to put together something for people to see them live.
Right.
And the element of that doesn't change. That's what separates a motherfucker. That's what separates. That is what will separate you and Jerry. That's what separate us from people like that. Is that the development of a live show, where if anything pops, I have something prepared to come and see.
Right.
But it's just having a big toolbox with a lot of tools.
Well, exactly.
Of course, it's the crowds are not things you prepare for.
True.
You can talk. We can sit here and talk theory all day long. Like you want to sit here and toss out comedy ideas and theories and what should we do and scenarios and blah. Nothing matters till you get on that stage and you have X amount of time. To make a judgment call, an assessment, and an adjustment, and decide how you are going to relate to that audience. And if you make it incorrectly early, it's very, very, very difficult to adjust. So it's for me, I sit here and think it through all the time. Well, how does my point of view now How do I have to adjust the jokes I was telling? If I want to tell some older jokes, how do you try and think all that through? And then you're just like, man, if I just get up there and trust the fact that I've built enough reflexes. Yeah. If you just let me in front of live people with under 2 minutes, I'm gonna know how we're playing this round of golf.
Yeah.
Once you in it, you're
a professional. You can read a room in 5 minutes.
Less than you have to do it less than that, or you're fucking
if you
ruined.
walk into the room,
Yeah.
So I don't think that part, the live part, I think how people gravitate to it will change differently.
But isn't that the problem? Is that if you're developing short form to bring people in, and then the product you're promising at the end is long form, and you can't do that. Because if all your focus on, pretend you just started, pretend you don't have all these decades of fucking history behind you, and you know how to write a show like this.
Yeah.
You're just you, and you went, people like boots and truck jokes. What is your career path?
No, it's short. We've seen people who are only social media get on live stages and just eat shit.
What does this do for stand up 10 years from now?
Here's what I think. I think, this is my prediction. I think guys who you don't catch on with your own shit, you end up writing for the person that's more popular.
Yeah.
And you end up being on the writing staff of this dude that's got this huge influence because you know how it goes, you know how to read it, you know how to feed them, how to react to this and how that, and you end up just you may make buku dollars, but that ends up just might be being the
perfect. I need to hire 6 of these people.
Right. Right.
But what I've seen, and just in the time we've done it, is there's always going to be a cult stand-up following. There are people that just gravitate towards the art form.
Yeah.
There's people that like
There may be less places to do it, and it may be tougher competition to get those spots.
Right.
True, man. But yeah, it's not. It don't ever it just keeps changing. It keeps evolving. But it's all from the it's just all from the original. I had those thoughts and shit like that, but you can't. There's no escape from being a primal being, and we all gravitate to storytelling in whatever type of way that is, whether it's music, whether it's someone just speaking. It's always gonna figure out a way, and the motherfucker that can talk and be interesting the longest is the one that everybody gravitates to the most. So you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but if you don't have a bunch of shit to say and be interested for that long amount of time, you will fall where the fuck you may.
Well, cheers to Jerry Wayne Longmire falling where the fuck you may.
Keep talking about boots, my nigga. Kanger. Sorry. My Kanger. My
Kanger.
Last thoughts before we get out of here. But I want to hear a story. We're not going to skip this. We're not going to skip this story. I don't care if this episode goes a little bit over. You are fighting.
Yeah, man.
And we're going to bring this up. We got this whole episode's been Jerry's doing amazing. I want conflict here. Let's have some negativity. Jerry's in a look at how Trey just bowed up. He almost took his arms out from under his arms.
I got to put this shirt on.
Okay.
Why, you cold now?
No, I just got a visual of
yourself.
I look very bulk next to this nigga. So.
But is that sweater's gonna help.
There are no feelings of ownership on my part.
Arbitration.
I'd have picked somebody much bigger,
Somebody who talks a lot less.
Boy, y'all.
We're edging.
I would love. Nigga shouldn't have ran with that one. You always say. Hey, every volleyball don't gotta be spiked.
Every volleyball don't gotta be spiked.
Some of you can just let go out.
I got 6 spikes. I just
stop.
Yeah, right.
Put them right back in the spike drawer.
I live in an apartment complex down in the parking garage, right across from the elevator. They have what are the reserved spots, and if you want to pay extra every month, you get to reserve one of these parking spots for you. Otherwise, the rest of it's just a free for all.
Would you like a parka to go with all 3 of those layers you put on? All right.
Yeah.
So one day, in the middle of the day, I had to run by and pick up something from the house, so I just pulled in one of those reserved spots. I was upstairs 2 fucking minutes. I went to grab something out of my apartment, came back down. There's a dude waiting, and he's pissed. And he's like, and there's like 5 spots beside it. 5 spots beside it. I just pulled into the closest one. And I came up, and he's like, "You're in my reserved spot." And I was like, "Dude, that's my bad. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I was just going to be upstairs for 2 minutes."
Are they reserved per person, or is it just like these 5 are for 5?
No, you have to reserve a numbered spot
It's
or
his
whatever.
spot.
Yeah, it's his spot.
So
It's
don't
his
tell me
spot.
how many other spots are next to it. It's his spot.
Well, it matters.
You're in his spot.
We're human beings. Settle down. 2 fucking minutes.
But you are a human
2
being.
minute
You are a human
interruption.
being in his spot.
Yes, I am a human being. I acknowledge that. I fully apologized to him. I said, "Dude, I'm really sorry. It's my bad. I will move it immediately, and I will not do that again." And he flipped the fuck out. God damn it. Every day somebody's parked in my motherfucking spot. All the motherfucking time. Somebody parked in my motherfucking spot. La, la, la. Just goes off, and I go, "Okay, dude, I'm just going to move my truck. I'm sorry." What else can I do at that point? So I moved my truck, and I parked. He was holding a big gulp drink.
Oh yeah, styrofoam cup.
Cola, yeah.
Bro, I wrote a whole chapter about this shit.
And I went up in my apartment later on. I had to leave to go somewhere. I come down there, and there's Coca-Cola poured all over the back of my fucking truck and a styrofoam cup laying on the ground like the one he was holding earlier. So I naturally assumed this motherfucker did it. So I went over there, chewed up some gum, stuck it under his fucking driver door handle. We can both be dickheads. I'm petty as fuck. And I left.
Okay.
2 days later, Will knows about this guy. So 2 days later, this motherfucker goes and buys himself some orange cones, and he starts setting up his little personalized orange cones in his parking space.
Oh, Lord.
Right? So every day when I get home, I go over there and kick the fucking cones down, and then I go park. Because I'm petty as fuck. And I felt like he overreacted, was a dickhead.
Well, no, wait, hang on. You thought he was being petty.
Yes, I out-pettied him. I Richard pettied him. I fucking took it to I'm the king.
So you agree that petty is fine.
I agree that petty is not necessarily always appreciated, but I agree.
But
that
you
I was
agree
being
that
super
petty is
Well, but
okay
it's
in
not-
the physics of the universe you choose to operate in.
Yes.
It's not your problem that other people are parking in his spot. You apologize. You know,
I
all he
was
can
just
do
the
is call the
straw that
leasing
broke
office.
the camel's back.
Yeah.
Now Trey's over here agreeing. Now you think this guy's being a petty little asshole too.
Yeah, and this the thing.
See, this somebody who's got a driveway that sits next to a bar that is frequently parked in.
Nigga, is it a numbered spot? I understand it is designated, but it's a numbered spot and it's a multiple spot. Here's the thing. You apologize.
This is worse.
All this extra shit after I apologize, you just brewing up my childhood to come out on your ass. So relax, bro. Because this, just like me being in your spot, ain't about me being in your spot. It's about some other shit.
Right.
You doing all this extra shit ain't about me. Ain't about this. It's about, so it's like,
I wanted to ask you, like, do we
The
need
fuck
to
is your?
fight?
Do your childhood issues need to go fight his childhood issues in the street?
if that's what he want to do.
That's bro.
If
feel
that's
me.
what he want to do.
Bro,
So
all
that-
of my dad shit was about to come out on that bar
that.
owner's
So
church shit.
About the second time I kicked his cones down, I found another Coke poured all over my truck right after I washed it.
Well, you've been kicking his cones down,
Yeah, and I've
Jerry.
been kicking his cones down. So then about a week ago, I went out there with some Gorilla Glue, and I glued all his fucking cones together.
Oh, God damn.
And I stacked them up right back in one of his spots.
Bro, this is
Yes, that's what that deserves.
I took it a little too far,
what
probably.
sort of white trash and practical jokers are we on? This is
This is perfect.
Well, this dude's a black dude.
Damn.
He owns
Put
a,
me in a predicament now, Jerry. Shit.
I didn't want to tell you that.
God damn, you gotta say that in the beginning. I mean, he wrong, but damn, I can't.
He owns a cleaning company, and he's
the actual Jeffersons. You can't even be mad.
Fuck.
so I glued his cones together.
That's amazing.
Oh, Lord.
Amazing.
And then I came out the elevator at the wrong time the other night, and I guess
Which
I
is
got there.
any time
I guess
after you fucking
Exactly.
You guys are taking a different elevator.
He was getting ready to leave, and he was trying to get his cones apart. And he fucking like you ever play a joke with somebody? You realize you took the shit too far because
Tell
this
me-
motherfucker's having a meltdown.
Oh,
Tell me
my.
he's laying on his back. He's got his hands and his feet up like one of those cat wine bottle holders. You know what?
He's holding the
What
top
hap-
cone and he's slamming them on the ground and
He's
he's
trying to get 'em
cursing
out.
and screaming. I'm moving out this motherfucker. I ain't living in this fucking piece of shit hood rat goddamn place anymore. He's slamming. There's a lot of N-word.
God damn.
And I just eased out to the guest gate and walked around the long way to get my truck.
You're nuts, sorry.
And I was like, oh, fuck. Well, it was probably not time to have a conversation about ending this. And then, but then today he was moving out. So, yay, I won.
All the. It was your fist bump, him.
Wait. I'm like
Oh,
on
yeah.
the side.
Pull that
But
back.
then you did a weird mild gentrification. That was like a weird ass take
I
over
didn't really look at it as him throwing it out of the neighborhood. That's
That's why I
a strong way
had
to
to
look
take
at
the
it.
fist bump back. Like
I just threw him out
I
of the parking
understand,
spot.
but
That's
it started because he took this dude's part. This poor
Yes.
defenseless who did nothing but pay for
I
a parking
made-
spot so
I-
that he would not have to be
You should
inconvenienced.
know better than to pay for. I mean, as somebody,
I-
we have reserved spots like that too. And I'm always like, man, those guys are suckers. Like,
horrible people.
I made the initial
Here's the
trespass.
I'm
and
saving $25 a month on that.
Look. I made the initial trespass. Then he went and did damage to my vehicle. Fuck him.
Okay.
That's why I say. And then another thing is, Jerry, first of all, no grown ass person, unless somebody seriously violates
Right.
you, owes you a motherfucking explanation. Past an apology.
Right.
Hey man, I'm sorry. I was in
Right.
your fucking parking spot, not your asshole, dummy. But it's like it's that shit where you start getting.
But do you not take into account the fact that there might be a cumulative effect, that you may just be one piece of sand
I
in that
said
little
that. He
hourglass?
said that.
I'm not talking about just your situation,
Got
but
you.
Mr. Dismissive over here, who's just like, handle it, motherfucker.
I get it.
But it wasn't a cumulative effect to come damage my vehicle.
It's different.
that was
That's
a
what
choice.
I'm saying. It's like it's
That was a
different.
choice.
That's totally
if
fucked up.
every time he shows up, this car, which is you in the spot, it just happens to be. By the way, nigga, don't have such an awesome spot.
But what if every time there is a car there, and the one time you show up is his car? You don't have a right. Do you have a right to address it?
No, because
You-
this ain't
Yes,
that
yes.
damn movie
I
you brought
think
up.
that-
What's that movie in the '80s with
Falling Down.
Falling down. This ain't that. It's
Bro,
like
it's 10:31. Give me a motherfucking breakfast biscuit.
There was an infraction, an apology, and an escalation.
That's the thing. After if you decide to escalate it after a person go, hey man, my bad, I just ran up real. I like, hey, how am I supposed to know this is your spot? I'm just trying to do a whole situation.
The apology is a big part of it.
No,
That's
totally.
what-
Like because you would apologize. My philosophy in life is to play dumb all the time. That is what I do.
Wait, what's your move? If we come, because this is
If I was
different.
in somebody's spot, I came down and be like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Like I just moved here. Like I would just make something up, be like, my bad. The end. You know what I mean? And then if he had further
Fuck 'em
issues,
out.
if it's multiple people parking in his parking spot, that needs to be an email to your leasing
Why
office.
are you assuming it's a guy? What if it's a woman who's not moved by your?
Doesn't matter who
She's
they
like, I
are.
know the move.
All right,
I
well,
know that move. I used it 20 years ago.
You guys should start playing dumb more. I'm just saying it works all the time.
Yeah, bro. I have a problem with somebody offers de-escalation.
Yes.
And the person receiving that decides they treat you like a
Re-escalate.
bitch in that situation
Yes.
and go higher. After that, I'm not. This is the first time I'd have been like, shoot that nigga, Jerry. And it was all the. I'm sorry, shoot that Kanga.
It was a
Shoot that
look.
Kanga. I forgot that's a new replacement.
If
word.
he'd have taken his drink right there and thrown it on my car, we'd have had this shit out. And that'd have been the end of it.
Exactly.
But he waited till I was safely up in my apartment to pull his bullshit.
Well, maybe he wasn't done with his drink yet.
But then he
you
left
know what
the
I mean?
cup.
Maybe that's
finished
sometimes
either way.
you gotta wait till the Slurpee's like watered down and you don't want the rest of it. That's all. I'm not empathizing with this
you
guy.
did.
Can't Coca-Cola though like hurt car windows?
Oh yeah, that and bird shit and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
we gotta
Like, can it like?
It's just the fact I had to go clean it off and fuck with it. You know?
You inconvenienced him. He inconvenienced you. Suck it up.
Jerry,
Oh, I did. I won.
you did
I sucked it up and won.
everything right.
I agree. You did everything
couldn't-
right.
I mean, I may have not should have showed up in the parking
that.
garage with glue, but
I have a major problem with that shit because it's I just don't like that shit at all. And this is the thing. This is the thing I know for a fact. If it had been Cornelius, if it had been a black
I
dude
love to know-
shaped like you that had that, like, hey, my bad, bro. Hey, it's all, man, niggas just be out here in my spot. He'd have been real understandable. But he saw you, right? Pudgy and vulnerable. Motherfucker, yada, yada, yada. He saw that.
Yeah, he's one of
and-
those bodybuilder types.
Yeah,
He's all
he
fluffy.
saw that. If he'd have saw somebody his side, his color, man, it's just these motherfucking white folks that's in my spot and shit. But now he want to talk. Bullshit. I don't like that.
Think about this. How many bar fights have you seen? Because I've seen a mess of them. How many bar fights have you seen where some shit got said and somebody decided, oh, fuck, let's de-escalate this and back it down, and then that's when the other dude really starts talking shit
yeah.
and gets his ass whooped.
Totally, I 100%. I've been on both sides of that equation.
It's like, I've been both people.
Both people.
I've seen the guy de-escalate and start to walk away and go, well, okay, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Now that's too much.
It's the that's the part where I'm like, all right, well, if you just want to fucking take it here.
At the end of the
then
day,
you
a
deserve-
parking spot should never be a cause for blows. You know what I mean?
No.
That's the point. I
True.
was,
And that's maybe not the only reason he moved, but good.
but hey,
Did he move? Do you know?
I wish it just
Yeah.
would have
They had a
kept
moving
getting
truck.
petty.
it's,
So,
you have
so
an,
then I threw a grenade in his shit.
that's what I'm saying. And then fucking the whole building destroys like that old video.
I fully expected to come out and see those cones shoved up my tailpipe of my truck.
Boy, is that a metaphor? I'm glad no one was hurt. I'm the only one that drinks, so I raise it to you guys. Jerry, I hope your new neighbor is more understanding.
Yeah, or we just don't get one.
Or you just start parking in the spot now
should buy
and
that parking
establish
spot.
dominance.
Man, this new
I
neighbor I
ain't paying
got.
extra
Just
for
do
no
what
parking.
Abby does. Don't pay for it like a
Don't pay for
chump.
it.
Just park and play
there
dumb.
and pee on the wheels every day, so it smells a little like you.
Get your own cones.
2 months later, you're like, this new neighbor, I keep coming in my apartment.
Trey Tutson,
How did
Jerry,
he get a key? Rachel.
Jerry Wayne Longmire, Abby Volman, our guest. This episode came out Friday, which means you've missed all the performances from us except for me in Vegas, the 24th through the 26th at
hell yeah.
Delirious. I'm there. It's on Fremont Street. It's downtown. And then we're going to be April 2nd at Dukes in Humble. ValorTix.com. ValorTix.com. It's the Outlaw
ValorTix.com.
Music and Comedy Festival. Boy, we sounded like a commercial there. Let's never do that again.
That's not
Goodwill loading in the background. Thank you so much. Edo happens on Tuesdays. All sorts of Whiskey Brothers comedy on all the platforms, but YouTube's where you need to find us. Hit the subscribe button, ring the little belly, and we'll see you soon.
They don't want no problems. Nah.
Music provided by Scarface. Thank you for listening to yet another excellent episode of the Whiskey Brothers Podcast, the world's funniest podcast ever. The Whiskey Brothers Podcast was made in America by Americans, mostly in and around the Houston area. All content copyright the Whiskey Brothers. This concludes our broadcast day. Goodbye.